So I'm just carry on another part of the important part of the Buddha's teaching, which is called the three signs or the three characteristics of life. And I'll be touching on Anicca. Okay, never mind if you don't know the word Anicca, slowly I'll explain to you what does it mean and how can we look this truth which the Buddha has proclaimed in our societies, look at it in our society and how we can, slowly realize what the Buddha has taught. Now, brothers and sisters in the Dharma, in this modern world, everywhere that we go, we come on away from signs. You know sign? S-I-G-N, sign? Right. If you drive on the road, what do you notice? Road signs, right? Beside road sign, now we have a lot of billboard, right? Big billboard. If you drive along the federal highway, you see a Kodak, and then what else? You have Salem. And those are signs also. Sign to tell you to smoke, sign to tell you to use Kodak, if you want a good picture. Those are signs also. Now, we can't run away from signs in our society. Road sign, some more what sign? No more. Commercial signs, correct. Some more? Communication signs. Okay? There are certain things shows I means information. You can get information. Now, all these signs are very important because it serves its own function. Ada fungsinya. Now, some signs are used to guide us, to give us a direction. No right turn means no right turn. If you go right, then you're wrong. Okay? Some signs are there to give us message. They are not to guide us, but just to give us message. This. Okay? Like when you walk along this building, then you see one very beautiful sign you'll never miss. A man and a woman, and you know where to go. It gives you a certain message. It is important. Without that, you do not know where it is. Alright? To find where is the Mr. Lu and Miss Lu. Okay? Next. Signs are important in the sense that it gives us hints and clues. Sometimes it may not give us guide. It may not give us message. But it gives us hints and clue towards another thing. If you want to know that thing, you have to look at the sign, then you know. Something like you go for treasure hunting. All of you have gone for treasure hunting, right? Treasure hunt. You look for the signs. Certain signs which will eventually lead you to the treasure. The sign will not give you the treasure, but it will lead you to the treasure. It gives you hint. Walk another 100 steps, you walk another step. Turn right, you turn right after that. It gives you clue. Right. Now the importance of signs are obvious. Memang tidak boleh dipertikaikan lah. It's obvious. Now, imagine traveling in roads without signs. Can you imagine traveling roads without signs? It's like going to some small town, All of you are so used to KL, right? Got sign here, sign. You go to small town. Smaller still, new villages. Some new villages have no road sign. They can go in anywhere they like. They can go anywhere you like. You get a fright of your life if you first time go to such places. Imagine traveling in places where there is no sign. It's terrible. Imagine there is no sign in this temple. You do not know where is the library. You do not know where is the toilet. You do not know where is the hall. You don't know where is, the monk's quarter, whatever it is. There is no sign. So you need sign. It's obvious. Now, imagine also aeroplane landing without sign. Communication sign. Especially night time when the plane is supposed to land. They can't see anything except those bulbs which line up in one certain line. From far, the pilot can see that is the airport. They will not know. They'll be able to differentiate between airport and the federal highway. Alright, so that they wouldn't land on the federal highway and fall into one proton saga again. Something like that. So it's important in that sense. Alright, they must have. So what I'm trying to tell you here is it's important to have signs, because signs give us message, give us guide, give us hints or clue. Okay? Now, in searching for something also, if you want to search for something, you must look for signs also. If you want to know a girl is interested in you, look for the body language. That is also sign. If you wink the eyes, okay, If the mouth put like that, means not okay. You should know. Those are signs also. So in searching for something, we must look for signs. For example, if a hunter wants to hunt beasts, wild beasts, of course I don't encourage you to go for hunting, but if a hunter wants seriously go and hunt for a beast, he must look for signs. What signs? Footprints. You look at the footprint, you know, this is bear's footprint. This is tiger's footprint. This is kijang's footprint. Then he can tell, based on the sign, the footprint, he said, this is a fresh footprint. That means the kijang or the tiger is just round the corner. Not long ago, the animal was here. So a hunter must look for signs. Same thing. If a farmer wants to farm, to sow his crop, he must wait for the signs of nature. Look around, look at the sky. It's going to rain. That means the monsoon season is coming. It's good for plowing this crop, maybe. Or we must clear the land before the rain comes. You must look for the signs of nature if a farmer wants to plow his crops. Then, if a sailor wants to sail in the vast ocean, what must he do? He must look for the signs of nature also. Look at the sky, see where is the Southern Cross. There is the Southern Cross. Where's the North Pole? Then he knows where is his direction. That is important for sailor also. Isn't that true? And of course, when we travel also, when you are a driver, I'm sure those of you are very good driver, you travel our station, you must look for the signs also. If there is a traffic police in front, you know what are the signs they will show, right? They flash a light, that means there is speed trap, so you better slow down. Those are signs also. And you want to know whether the other side of the road, somewhere in the far distance, is it raining or not? Just look at the other oncoming car, whether they have wiper on or not. And whether there are drops of water on top of the car. Then you know it's raining on the other side or not. Something like that. So those are signs. Okay? Are you with me? Yes, You look as if you don't understand any sign at all, Right. So if you want to do anything, you must look for signs. These are unmistakable signs. You cannot miss one. If you're a farmer, you must look for the sign of nature. If you're a hunter, you must look for those signs. You cannot miss all these signs. If you miss, you will not have a successful hunting. You will not have a good harvest for a farmer. Likewise, the seeker of truth must look for the signs where wisdom dwells, where land is free. Like a hunter, a seeker of truth seeks his beastly defilement and kills him. For example, if you want to know when you are angry, there are signs to know when you are angry. How? Touch your ears. Hot. Signs that you are getting angry. Touch your heart. Beating fast. Signs you are getting angry. Or you are already getting angry. Test your breath. You are getting angry. Those are signs to show that you are angry. So once you know those signs, you learn to say, no, I shouldn't be angry. Cool down, let the heart beat slower, let the temperature drop, then you won't get angry. Those are signs you must look for. And you also know when you are, when you have feeling of greed. For example, when you see Chi Chong Fan, Chi Chong Fan, very nice. Signs of greed coming in, especially now is a durian season. Even though you got headache yesterday, you got fever yesterday, durian, very nice. Signs of greed coming. You can learn. Sometimes signs of greed come in terms of symptoms. How?
saliva start to come. Ooh, very nice, huh? Swan Mary, huh? Then you got sign, huh? And sometimes when you are confused in life, that is a sign that you have delusion. You're not sure whether to take up this job or to take up that job. You're not sure whether to go here or to go there. Maybe you got 3-4 functions on that particular night. If you are under such situation, you are having confusion. So, like a farmer, a seeker of truth, find the best field of merits and plow it. Like a sailor, he sails toward the port of enlightenment. There are many people who believe, actually, that truth can be got through some religious books. You know, the religious book that you know of. Books that have been printed by religious organizations. Some people believe that truth can be found in temple. Some people believe that truth can be found in certain caves. But actually, truths are not found in all these places or things. If truth can be found in a book, let's burn the book, then the truth is gone. If truth can be found in a temple, burn the temple, destroy the temple, then truth is gone. But a person who understands Buddhism will understand that the truth is not found in all these places. Sometimes we can learn a lot about truth, which the Buddha has proclaimed, through nature. Look around us, our society, they are all part of the truth. If we learn how to pick the pieces together, then we get the actual picture of truth. It's just like jigsaw puzzle, you know? You have played jigsaw puzzle? Many pieces. They are all not truth. Not the real picture. But when you form it together nicely, it is a real picture that you can see what is inside. So same thing. The truth that we want to know cannot be truly found in books or temples or anywhere. But it has to be, you have to pick up here and there, eventually you form into one picture. And that is the truth. Okay. Now, in actual fact, truth is always with us and around us, actually. They are always around us. Truth speaks to us through nature if we would listen. The nature will teach us a lot about the truth. Now the problem with it is many a time we are too busy to listen or to know. Therefore we feel that truth is not part of us. Agree or not? How many a time do we really sit down and think about ourselves? Hardly. Do you spend 10 minutes every night to think about what you have done today or the day before? Maybe yes, maybe no. It's just like sometimes, you have been traveling all the time. Let's say KLPJ. You're so busy. You don't really notice what is around you. Then maybe one fine Sunday on your way to temple, you drive. Oh, there is a big tree here, huh? A very big tree. Very beautiful tree. Then if you so happen to drive in a certain part of PJ, oh, beautiful scenery. Especially somewhere around Damansara there, when you look the other side, Subang side, you see the hills, especially in the evening, it's so beautiful. So, oh, beautiful. But you never realize it in a normal day. You just drive. You remember it's from your house to your office only. That's the only thing you remember. So you drive as far as you can to your office. But you don't really have the chance to see your surrounding. So same thing, truth is like that. We're so busy doing our work, we have no time to really sit down and think what truth is all about. Okay? Now, in fact, nature tells the truth that never dies. Nature speaks in symbols and signs. I know many of us may ask, what is actually the meaning of life? We'll wake up early in the morning, 5, 6 o'clock, brush your teeth, try to clean your face as clean as possible, polish your whatever it is that you need to polish your face or get the breakfast, jump into your car, go along a certain line, mad rush, towards certain direction, work like mad, boss scold you all the time, and pressure you all the time. Of course, not all bosses are like that, like all bosses are like that, but some are. You find that after a month you get some money, okay, few $100s or few $1,000s. And that few $100s and few $1,000, what do you do with them? You keep it. Part of it have to give for rent. Another one, car installment, house installment, here, there, buying clothing, eating here, eating there. Then you're left with few miserable pieces. And then you have to slog for one more month to get the same routine again. Some people think, what is actually the meaning of life? What is the purpose of existence? Why do we have to face all these obstacles and all these problems? Now, if you really want to know what is actually life is all about, the Buddha has said, it's very simple. You look into these 3 signs of life. You know what are 3 signs of life? Dukkha, Anicca, and Anatta. It's easy said, but very difficult for you to realize. Dukkha, Anicca, Anatta. Uncle Tan had talked on the Dukkha. I'll be touching on Anicca, and Chief Reverend will talk about Anatta next week, if I'm not mistaken. Right. Now this Dukkha, Anicca, Anatta is called Tilakkhana. Don't worry about the Indian word, Tilakkhana. The 3 signs. Now what is actually Anicca? You know what it means? Can I get some reply from you? Yes, uncle? Impermanence, again? Changes, okay? Never remain the same, okay? It looks like old people are more active than young, down here. The veterans are more active than the youngsters. What else? Anicca? That's all. Not constant, okay. Some more? Okay, never mind. I do not want you to crack your head. Oh, you're terrible, man. Next time don't want to come for Sunday talk already. But to crack. In Malay, there are many many words you can use. Tidak abadi, tidak berkekalan, and maybe in Mandarin you call it wu chang. Wu chang, not permanent. Now this anicca, this word, comes from 2 morphemes. Not those drugs that you take, morphines. This is in terms of linguistics. 2 morphemes. One is a, and the other word is nicca. A in Sanskrit or Pali always refer to not, non, or in Bahasa is called bukan, yang tidak. That's a. Dhamma, truth. Adhamma, not the truth, something which is not unwholesome. Okay? Some more. Kusala, wholesome. Akusala, not wholesome. Okay, the a is a prefix which gives you a negative meaning. Nitya, or in Sanskrit nitya, means permanent. So anicca, what do you get? Not permanent. Okay, it's simple. So this is one of the 3 characteristics of life. Now in Anguttara Nikaya, part 1, page 286, don't worry about this, this is a quotation only. The Buddha says, this is very important for you to understand, whether the Tathagatas, you know the Tathagatas? The Buddha don't call himself, I am the Buddha. The Buddha refers to himself as the Tathagatas. Okay? Whether the Tathagatas appear or not, wujud, muncul di dunia ini atau tidak, it remains a fact, an established principle, a natural law, hukum yang semula jadi, that all conditioned things are transient, not permanent, anicca. All conditioned things are sorrowful, dukkha. All conditioned things are soulless, anatta. This fact the Tathagata realizes and understands. In other words, whether Sakyamuni Buddha came to this world or not, whether the Buddha had proclaimed about these three characteristics of life or not, nobody can run away from it. And I would like to add in here, whether you are rich or poor or not, whether you are a king or an ordinary citizen, whether you are very educated or you are not so educated, whether you are Chinese educated, English educated, Malay educated, or whatever educated you are in, you can't run away from these three characteristics of life. It is there all the time. The Buddha only come to reveal. That's why the Buddha says, whether Tathagata appear or not, these three characteristics of life will always be there. That's the wonderful thing about Buddhism, isn't it? Some religion, you take away their religious teacher or their prophet, that religion collapses. Because that religion is based on faith on that particular person. But you can take away Buddha from the commentary, you can take away the Buddha from the Tripitaka, and just take the Dhamma. Buddhism still survives. That's the wonderful thing about Buddhism. That's why it says, whether Tathagata appear or not, the three characteristics of life will always be there. The Dhamma is always there. It doesn't matter whether Buddha appear or not. Okay? With me? Or halfway to paradise already, Now, anicca can be described positively or negatively. It depends how you look at it. It's just like a cup of water, you fill it half. Person will look at it, it's half full. That's positively speaking. The other person says, half empty, negatively speaking. So anicca is like that also. You can speak it negatively. It means nothing stays the same but changing all the time. That's very negative. Nothing stays the same and changing all the time. Positively speaking, you can say reality is not static but dynamic. That is positively, but it all mean the same thing. But both descriptions amount to the same fact, that whatever is, whatever is, will be, was. Can you get the picture? Whatever is, will be, was. The moment I speak here, it becomes past already. There's nothing the same all the time. Never mind, if you can find it, it's a little bit difficult. Now, the ancient Greek philosopher Heraclitus propounded the same theory not long after the Buddha. Some believe that the Greek had borrowed a lot of teachings of the Buddha and brought it back to Greece, and that's how the Kebudayaan Yunani or the Greece civilization grew, based on Eastern Indian philosophy, and a lot based on Buddha's teaching also. Okay? Now he says, change, movement is the Lord of universe. You know Lord? In Mandarin they say Chye. Of course we are not talking about the Chye. This according to him, he says, change, movement is the Lord of the universe. Means it is the thing which governs the universe. Everything will be changing. Everything is in a state of becoming. Can you get it? Everything is in a state of becoming. Young boy is becoming big boy. Big boy is becoming teenager. Teenager is becoming adult. Adult is becoming father. Father is becoming grandfather. And then becoming some other stage. You know lah. So everyone is in a state of becoming. You start with standard 1, becoming standard 2, becoming standard 3, becoming standard 4. It goes that way until you and then come out to work. It's all in a state of becoming. Okay? Universe is in a state of flux, means constant flow, flux. You cannot step twice into the same river. He says, you cannot step twice into the same river. But actually this statement is wrong. The river is not the same. The river is always changing also. And he is partially right only. He forgot that the person who stepped also is not the same. I am the person who stepped into the river. I also change. If I can't change, my leg will be stick like that, My leg move down means I am changing. The movements change. So all things change, in other words. Alright? Now, according to the commentary, let's look at what Anicca means according to the commentary, the Buddhist scriptures. There are three important points I have gathered from the commentaries. It says here, Anicca is not evidence unless looked for. Maksudnya, ia tidak menjadi nyata, jelas pada pandangan anda unless you look for it. You go searching for it. Then you become very obvious. It's changing. You understand, no? Sometimes we do not know how old we are. Not until one day we go into the mirror and say, hi, good morning. They look, ayo. Suddenly you realize you are so old. Sometimes you don't realize so much change has happened to your face. You thought your face is still the sweet 16 face. You go to your face, pimples here, pimples there. Here also got, there also got. Then you know you have changed. Now this is what he's trying to say. Anicca is not evidence, it's not obvious unless looked for. You seriously sit down and look for it, then you find that it is there. Now the Buddha, in the Visuddhimagga, chapter 21, page 640, it is said here, when rise and fall is not given attention, it is concealed by continuity. However, when continuity is disrupted by discerning rise and fall, meaning when you watch rise and fall, the characteristics of impermanence become apparent in its nature. This is according to Visuddhimagga, chapter 21, page 640. Now it is true. If we never spend time looking at the rise and fall, we never notice. For example, all of us are breathing, right? Anyone here is not breathing? All of us are breathing. And we take breathing for granted. I live because I breathe. I can breathe. But sometimes we take for granted that when we breathe, it is a continuous process, Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. But in actual fact, is it so? Spend a few seconds and see. Anybody breathe in and breathe out immediately? I guess you are at the verge of going to the next stage really, if you do that. That is when you are grasping for breath. Okay? Normal human being will not breathe that way, right? They'll be breathing in, either long or short breath. Then there'll be a pause for a while, maybe a few seconds. Then breathing out. Then there'll be a pause for a few seconds. Breathe in again. Then goes. In other words, if we don't really sit down and concentrate on our breathing, we thought our breathing is the continuity, In, out, in, out, in, out all the time. But it is not so. It's breathing in, stop, breathing out, stop, breathing in, stop, breathing out, stop. And even the breathing in and breathing out is not the same, right? Sometimes you breathe very short, then breathe out, a lot. Sometimes you breathe very, a lot. That's all. So it is not consistent all the time. But if we don't sit down and watch it, we believe it is continuing. Like rise and fall all the time. And another thing is, according to this Visuddhimagga, so it's something like a wheel, Have you seen a turning wheel? Now, let's say the wheel have many spokes. Okay? Ada jejarinya. Now, this wheel, if you turn slowly, can you see it turning? Yes. When you turn it quickly, what happened? The wheel looks as if it is static, It's not moving, You turn it very fast, Until it comes to a stage, it's like, it's not moving at all. It's static. And that's exactly life is all about. Sometimes we move so fast, we thought everything is the same. But in actual fact, everything is changing. We look at the river, it's the same river, because the water is flowing all the time. The water doesn't flow and then stop, and then flow and stop. It doesn't do that way, but it's flowing all the time. Therefore, we believe as if it is a continuity. Alright? So that's first point you have to remember about Anicca, according to commentary. Second one, Anicca has a beginning and an end. Rise and fall. According to Anguttara Nikaya, chapter 3, page 47. Okay? Anicca has a beginning and end. Agree? What goes up must come down. But there's one thing which goes up will never come down. What is that? Your age, Okay? Don't say my share price go up and never come down. It never works that way. Share prices will go up and come down. This is part of Anicca also. Alright? Now that's the second point you have to know. Anicca means it has a beginning and an end. Number 3, Anicca is conditioned. According to Digha Nikaya, chapter 16, page 156, it says, subject to change are all compounded things, strive on heedfully. That's the last words of the Buddha. Anicca vata sankhara, subject to change are all compounded things. What does it mean by compounded things? A thing does not exist by itself like that. I give you a very simple example. You are here today, right? What are the factors that contribute you here today? You must have heard the announcement last week. There's one factor also. Second factor, maybe, you must have woke up quite early. If you are still in the bed now, you will not be here. Okay? Third factors, you must have taken your breakfast early also. Of course, some of you never take your breakfast here also, I know. But we assume you have taken. You must have taken your breakfast quite early. Otherwise, you will still be out eating outside. We assume also the factors that there must be someone driving you here or you drive yourself here. And also your car must be functioning. Otherwise, you'll be somewhere along Federal Highway now, trying to see where is the part which has gone wrong. So, in other words, for a simple thing like this, sitting down here, listening to a talk, it does not come like that just because I want to go to listen to a talk, boom, I'm here. No, it doesn't work that way. You're not David Copperfield, All these factors must be there. Eventually, you find that you're here. If one of the factors is missing, you may not be here today. If your car has a problem, you'll be somewhere along the Federal Highway. You have not taken your breakfast, you might be outside eating now. Yum, 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 yourself away, Okay? So it says that all compounded things are subject to change. I give you another example. For this mic to be here, can you find such a thing in from nature itself? You dig from the ground and say, oh, I found a mic. Thank God for the mic. Is it like that? No. This mic must come through many factors. There must be the materials, the metal, the plastic, or whatever it is. People must refine it. There must be others who bring all these things together, fix it up in one shape that you call a mic. And this mic is not permanent. Why? Since it can be assembled, you can separate it. Easiest way to separate it, you know how? Take this and just throw it. It breaks. That's how you separate the mind. So, that's what it means when the Buddha says in Vika Nikaya, all compounded things are subject to change. Same thing with our body. This body you call Huat Chye. Will it always be Huat Chye? At least for this life lah. But the hand will not be mine after some time. The eyes will not be mine after some time. I'm here because there is a father and a mother together. Start fertilization. Okay? Then the embryo grow. You have a baby, and the baby grow up, become matured, then you have a person called Huat Chye. I'm here a product of coming together of things. And death means disintegration of things. It's simple as that. Alright? Don't look at me like that, Anicca, wow, very serious topic, Now let us look at the lighter side of it. How we can see Anicca in our daily life. I give you some examples. Now just now I mentioned the 3 points, do you remember? Anicca is not evidence unless it is looked for. That means you must slow down your pace and watch. Number 2, Anicca has a beginning and has an end. And number 3, Anicca is conditioned. All conditioned things is impermanent. Okay? Now let us look at how Anicca can be seen in our society, in our daily life. Number 1, socially, let us look at how Anicca happens in our life. Anicca means we are constantly influenced by meeting and separation. Agree? We meet here at 9 o'clock, we separate about 12 o'clock afterwards. You meet your friend in Puduraya at 1 o'clock, you separate about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And life is a constant change. We are constantly influenced by meeting and separating. And a person who cannot accept this change will be something like D.H. Lawrence short story. You know D.H. Lawrence? You know, one of the English writer. There was a story about this girl, very weird girl, and then one year he met one guy. You see, in America they have North America and South America. So he met this guy from North America. She's from South America. She met this guy from North America, and she liked this guy so much. But one day she found out that this North American will be going back to the North because of love and obsession, you know. You know what did she do? She killed that man, you know, and took the body, kept it in her room, in her bed. And for about 20 years, she had been sleeping with that dead body, you know. Nobody knew about it. Why? Because separation is such a bitter thing for us to take. So she went to such a state as to kill that man and try to possess her. If I cannot possess you in life, I will possess you in death. Don't do that, Don't use the same statement I use, Don't talk to your girlfriend or your wife. I cannot possess you in life or possess you in death. Okay? Now that's D.H. Lawrence short story. Now meeting and separation is part of life, but sometimes it's hard to take. Sometimes it takes time to take. Okay? Now, when we look at socially, actually, we are constantly influenced by the 8 worldly conditions also. What are the 8 worldly conditions? Praise and blame, fame and ill fame, loss and gain, happiness and sorrow. These are the 8 things which happens all the time in our life. Nobody can say the Buddha is wrong. Fame and ill fame, praise and blame, loss and gain, happiness and sorrow. It happens all the time. Today you have been praised by your mother for making the breakfast. You go back home, you'll be blamed by somebody. Okay? Today you win something. Tomorrow you may lose some things. This is part of life. But this is change. We cannot gain all the time. And we cannot lose all the time also. Of course, there are some people who are born loser. They are losing because they do not know their limits. They try to do things which are not good in. Of course, you are always in the losing side. You must try to do things which you are good in. Then you are always in the winning side. Don't do things which you have no confidence in. Then you landed up as a loser. So if you want to be a winner, do things you have confidence in. Or do things that you know of, the things that you are quite confident in. Then you'll be winning all the time. Yeah? So there are some people, I don't know why, they want to be at the losing side all the time. Things they cannot do, they can't sing, they want to go up and compete. After that they lose. They say, how come I'm so terrible, my luck is so bad. I lose all the time. They cannot talk, they want to join in a elocution contest, talk nonsense, they lost. So if you want to win, make sure you do things you have confidence in. Then you become the born winner and not born loser. Alright. Now this praise and blame, fame and ill fame, loss and gain, happiness, sorrow, shows that everything is changing all the time. You may be very happy listening to the talk now. At least I do not know whether you are happy or some of you are trapped in between. You want to go out, you cannot go out. Terrible, the speaker still talk, I want to go out also cannot. You may, but I assume you're happy here. But when you go out of this door, there is no guarantee you'll be happy. For no reason you walk along that path there, one mad guy from outside come here and scold you. Then everybody look at you as if you are you're the one who did it, How would you feel? Sad after that. Anything of this sort can happen. Okay? So socially we are influenced by these 8 winds of change. The 8 worldly conditions. Fame and ill fame, loss and gain, praise and blame, happiness and sorrow. Okay? When people praise you, don't be too happy. When people blame you, don't feel so sad. Of course, it's very easy said than done. I know, it's very easy said than done. When people praise you, hold on to yourself. Don't fly off. Hold on. Okay? And when people blame you, don't put down your head so low. A little bit, never mind, but don't put down so low. It's very important in that sense. And if you study Sigalawada Sutta, in this world there are all kinds of people. Some people don't really praise you because they praise you. Right? They don't want to do the job, they tell you, oh, Mr. Tan, you're very good, you can. That's not real praise. That's sugar-coated words only. And some people, they'll praise in front of you. What do? They scold you at the back. Oh, you're very good. You come for my talk always, very good. At the back, says, idiot, you never come last week. Something like that. Right. So socially we are influenced by constant meeting and separation. We are constantly influenced by these 8 worldly conditions. Just now I mentioned to you, praise and blame, fame and ill fame, loss and gain, happiness and sorrow. If you want to know what really life is all about, life is all these 8 things. These are truths which the Buddha has proclaimed. These 8 things. Now, relationship among people also change all the time. It never stays the same. Two people are either deepening their relationship or what happened? Drifting apart. Two persons, between you and your father, you and your mother, you and your wife, you and your husband, you and your boyfriend, you and your girlfriend. Your relationship is either strengthening all the time or drifting apart. That's why sometimes it's good for you, both parties, to sometimes sit down and think, where are you heading? It says here sometimes, you see, married couples, or not only married couples, for that matter, unmarried couples also, and for that matter, even friends, get into trouble when they start taking each other for granted. Only to wake up years later and discover how far they have drifted apart. It's a very sad story, isn't it? You stay together all the time, you don't really know you have drifted apart. Another 5 years time, you say, you're really not meant for me, I'm not really meant for you. How can you be my friend all these years? I don't understand. How did I tolerate all your nonsense? 5 years later, 10 years later, all these things come out. But what I'm trying to say here is, relationship among people changes all the time. It's deepening or drifting apart. Okay? Some people we like at the first glance, we hate at the next glance. Some people we hate at the first glance, but we love next glance. Tak kenal maka tak cinta. You see, things like that. So, socially also, you find that our lifestyle change with ever-changing society and environment. Correct or not? Our lifestyle change. You have just been given a new job in the office. Everybody wear ties. You want to wear t-shirt only? No, you have no choice. Everybody, even the office boy wear ties. Better wear ties. Lifestyle change with the promotion sometimes. Or you got a new job in a new company. In a old company, you can anytime walk out of the company and go for a tea as you like, because the boss wouldn't be bothered. But in a new company, it may not be so already. Boss say 1 o'clock lunchtime means lunchtime. You cannot go out at 12:59. 1 o'clock sharp, punch your card. So lifestyle change according to environment, according to our society's need. Some of you may be from a small town or from small towns. Your life pace there is very slow. Right? Walk also can walk any way you like and slowly. But you come to KL, you cannot do that. If you don't knock people down, people knock you down. You have to walk extra fast. That's what I found out when I am in KL. I have to walk extra fast. People go up fast, I have to go up fast also. Otherwise, you'll be left behind. Okay? We are changing according to environment all the time. Socially. Those are, when you do that every day, when you go and take a minibus or take a bus back home, think about all these things. These are what we call anicca. That's why some people, after coming to KL for a few months or a few years, they go back home. All the people in the hometown say, you have changed a lot. Look at your fashion. Look at your hairstyle. Even you got a new set of teeth. Pulling off all, because your teeth may not be very nice, you pull off all and put a new set of teeth. And say, the way you talk is so different. Cara orang Kuala Lumpur bercakap. Ada pelat sikit. It might be so. That's especially true for Malays. If they come from kampung, they come to KL for long, they go back hometown. Pelat Kuala Lumpur. I tu hari sudah pergi situ. You punya husband tak ada macam tu kan? Change, Now let us look at economically how anicca take place.
or this impermanency take place. For example, the constant rising and falling of the share prices and prices of commodities. You watch news every day, right? Kel Kapung, 190, drop 5 cents. That's where all the people who play share, their heartbeats will drop. Got 5 cents, finished. You find that actually the rise and fall of share markets is actually trying to tell you a truth, that nothing is constant all the time. Of course, everybody hopes that it will rise and rise and rise, but the fact remains that nothing will rise and without falling. It will fall. And when it falls, unless that company is bankrupt, it may rise again. Tanchong used to be below $1, but now it's above $1. I don't play share, but I do watch. You see, I think one time, 2-3 years ago, it was below $1. But now it's 1 something. Or maybe $2 already, I do not know. That means, what rolls up will come down, what comes down will goes up again. This is Anicca. You can see in share prices. Okay? And also, in things that we do, for example, supply and demand changes through time. If you learn economics, supply and demand changes through time. Based on human needs, which is ever changing. Correct? I give you a simple example, Japanese car. I remember many years ago when first Japanese introduced car, we laughed. Japanese car, you sit on a Japanese car. People were driving Ford, people were driving Morris Minor, people were driving what else? Fiat. You're driving Japanese car. And it used to be very small, like boxes, those days. We laughed. And I remember when Honda first came out with a car, not long ago, during the late 70s, I think, we laughed because we only associate Honda with motorbikes, you see. Suddenly it came out with Honda, small Honda, Honda Civic, those smaller kind, We laugh. But now it's different, Honda is a very prestigious car now. Now, Japanese car keep on changing all the time. Why? Because human needs changes. Even Proton Saga changes. You got a sedan, they got aerovac, then you have what you have now, Nike, which is almost the same as aerovac, except it's painted black, maybe with some other things added in. It changes because our human need changes. Those days, Japanese car may not have so much gadgets. It's meant to be very economical in terms of fuel, in terms of purchasing price also. But now, it has gone to a new field because Proton Saga has sort of controlled the market of those of the lower category. Those Japanese company will go for prestigious car already. Even Nissan now, they have very prestigious. Nissan Sentra costs about 44,000 now. It's almost like buying a house now. Then Bluebird will go about 60,000 already. So it's not something very economical now in terms of the purchasing price. So they have gone because the taste, the purchasing power changes according to time. Japanese car. Alright? Like even a certain model, they change. 1 year the lamp is this one, the back lamp is like that. And then next year, same model, they change the lamp like that. Then people say, oh, it's a new model, new one. It's different from last year. You see, it's very nice like that. Next year they change back like that again, It goes on like that. And that's the same with our fashion also. Right? I remember the 70s we used to wear halhala, And we go to as big as possible, as wide as possible at the bottom, In order to make it look nice, we wear a 3 inches high heels, I still remember. Remember that? So that the big part of the trousers will cover exactly the shoes, that it looks perfectly nice. Try to wear that today and walk along KL. We wouldn't want to. Many years ago, during my father's time, he used to wear that kind of shorts, like Hong Kong police, It is And then they'll boil it, with the sago, After that is it sago? Huh? After that they will iron, until it becomes shining, kilat. And stiff, you cannot really move it, That kind of pants, we look at it, it's old-fashioned, grandfather's pants or something like that. But nowadays, youngsters are wearing it. Alright? The waist pouch that you have, whatever that you buy at McDonald's, it derives from the same concept as our grandfather used to wear, grandmother. Remember those days, they have belt. Old men, old ladies wear belt. But the belt served not only holding the pants together, because maybe the rubber at the time was not that good also, that they have to have the belt to hold the pants tight. And the belt also can use to keep things. I remember the belt can put coins inside. So the thing that you wear, you think very fashionable. Your grandfather did that also long time ago. So these are changing. Fashion are changing all the time. In fact, sometimes they use old concept, they modify on old concept, it becomes new again. Okay? Drain pipe pants also. So thin until you can see the leg exactly, It's nothing different. Those days, in the 50s, people wear that also. Okay? So what I'm trying to say is fashion keep on changing because human need changes. And therefore the manufacturer changes their product all the time. If a company have the same product all the time, that company is going to fall after some time. It has to change. Even Mercedes-Benz now used to be very orthodox kind of design. Now they make it very sporty. And make it smaller in size. Something like that. Volvo also have a smaller size one, not the big one. They have a smaller size one. To look sporty also. To cater for need, which is ever changing. This is economics. So if you want to be a good manufacturer, make sure you study human needs. And human needs are always changing. This again, Anicca. Okay? And also in terms of entertainment, many things have changed, right? Those days we still remember once in a while they have by-elections or election. The Kementerian Penerangan will bring the van. They'll go around the whole kampung making noise, telling there'll be a movie. And the movie is the same all the time like what you see in TV, Bukit Kepong all the time showing. I've seen Bukit Kepong how many times in TV already, like as if there's no other show. So they'll bring the movie into your kampung field, one of the field there, they put up a screen and then they'll show the movie. And everybody will go there, Go there and watch. Sometimes they'll go there, try to get the best seat as possible to watch. And take newspaper, they leave it there and they sit. Some cannot. Some didn't bring newspaper, they'll take the sleeper and put there and they'll sit and they'll watch. Okay? Some will cycle the bicycle and then they are not willing to come down from bicycle, they stop halfway and watch like that, I still remember those things, Those things used to be the best entertainment at that time. Now ask you to go and see this movie in the Padang, give you free, bring you there also you do not want. Why? Time changes. Human needs changes. TV program, so much things there for you to see. You give a free show up there nobody wants anymore. Those days, fun fair used to be packed with people, New Year, they'll set up fun fair, people go in there, people will play, people will see people dance, and then they'll sit the merry-go-round and things like that. Nowadays, you have fun fair, they are so miserably, used by the people. The people don't go into a fun fair anymore. Because you have to go in, you have to pay $2 or more. I might as well go for a movie. Okay? Now this is in terms of our economics, in terms of our needs changes, and many products and many fields have changed. Okay? Are you with me? Yes. Next one. Politically. Like they say, there is no true enemies or friends in politics. Politicians jump from one party to another. Agree? Today you are in Mamno, next day you are in 46. Today you're in 46, next day you're back to UMNO again. Today you're MCA, tomorrow you're in Gerakan. Tomorrow in Gerakan you fall back to MCA again. It happens. So in politics there's no true enemy or true friends in that sense. Because today I can share the same boat with you, next day I kick you out of the boat. Or I jump myself out of the boat. That's politics. That again shows Anicca. Many months ago, they were campaigning. This is only politics, huh? Datuk Syarif were campaigning, against it. But now she wants to go back. Politics. Okay? Rise and fall of leaders also shows that everything is changing. Marcos used to be a very strong dictator. Look at him now. Can't even die at his homeland. Okay, he has been replaced by Cory Aquino. And this Cory Aquino also don't know from where, he has never learned politics also, but somehow because the husband died, make her into a national heroine, and that's how she became president also. Bin Nazir, because of his father, Bato, don't simply pronounce the word, with very bad connotation after that. Now, she also rise because Huat died in an airplane crash. President Huat. And because somehow she became a national heroine also. Up she goes. So in other words, what I'm trying to show here is politician goes up and down. Leader goes up and they fall also. There's nobody who can sit there permanently. No. You'll be challenged after some time. That's why it's always nice when it's time for you to leave. Please leave gracefully. Instead of people using bulldoze you down. Okay? That's in terms of politics. It's changing all the time. I do not know how many time when you're reading newspaper, do you really read the news? Yeah, what the Buddha says is true. Everything is changing. Look at him. He was like that, now it's like that. Have you ever do such a thing when you read newspaper? Or you just read, again. You must read with Dharma eyes. Everything you read, oh, this is Anicca, oh, this is Anatta, oh, this is Dukkha. Actually, when I see Cantonese film, those series, I don't really fancy, but off and on I might just sit down and watch. In fact, when I see all these things, I see a lot of Dharma in it, Relationship between mother-in-law and daughter-in-law, relationship between husband and wife, relationship between two friends, and how hatred breeds, and how hatred can be appeased by the other person's wise act. When you see the Cantonese movie, just don't say mata all the time, Just look at how human relationship has to be, and how close are those things to Buddha's teaching. Okay? Now that is politics. Number 4, academically. Now, the trend of education changes according to time. Right? Why? Because societies change. Countries need change. Therefore, curriculum changes all the time. And who is always in trouble? Student in trouble, teachers in trouble, parents in trouble. Because the curriculum changes all the time. Curriculum changes. First from curriculum Lama Sekolah Rendah, they go to KBSR. From KBSR they change to KBSM. Next round I do not know what M they will come out. It's always changing. And who is the one earning the most? Publishers. Printing a lot of books, new books, to cope with the needs. And those companies doing teaching aids, you come up with new aids, this is good for new curriculum, please buy. The school buy. But nobody use it after that, It always happened that way. At present day, new things are added to our system of education. Because computer is the in thing now. Some wise guys suggest that they should have computer class during the lesson itself. Then some people suggest that they should have other things like consumerism into the lesson itself. Teach them consumerism. because this is the in thing now also. We talk about CAT, cat. Huh? And some people suggest, oh, they should introduce sex education into our system education also, because this is the in thing now also. People talk about it. So system education changes all the time. And when politicians quarrel, they add in new things to the system education. They have this bahasa baku, their bahasa standard and all those things. I'm not saying they are not good. Some of the changes are good, but some of the changes are not necessary. Just a political ploy. Okay? Now, changes happen because the needs of the society change. Right? During my time, we don't go for tuition that much. We still pass. But the student nowadays, every day tuition, especially KL students. Huh? Maths tuition, Bahasa tuition, English tuition, some more. Sciences, tuition. So after school, go for tuition. After tuition, go for piano lesson. After piano lesson, go for ballet class. Nighttime, go for aerobic. Computer class. Student is always, it's so demanding in KL now. So much so that if your son or your daughter do not do the same thing as your neighbor daughters or son is doing, what happened? You feel insecure. Chye, want to go or not? I send you for your aerobic class. Go. Computer. Husband earn hardly enough. Insist, buying, You see, when we got 2 computers, we don't even have one. Better buy one for our son. Because the trend of education has changed. Societies need change. Why society needs change? Human needs change. Why human needs change? Anicca. Fall back to the same point again. Okay? I'm bringing all these examples for you to see the Buddha's teaching. And maybe last but not least, physically we change also. Changes take place in life process, right? Don't believe? Look at yourself in the photos that you have kept in your album. You look back 10 years ago. This was me now. You laugh, but that was the best thing at that time, best dress, best hairstyle, best shoes at that time. But now when you look back, you laugh because you have changed physically. Now maybe you're very fat. You even carry a drum in front of you. But you look back in the photo 10 or 20 years ago, oh, like Mr. in Malaysia, very nice body, but now no more. Carrying a drum. So, from birth to maturity, to old age, to decay, to death, we are always changing all the time. This is a fact we have to face. Some refuse to face reality. Some people, they don't face reality, they are old, by resorting to many tricks. Makeup. You know what it means, makeup? Makeup means something is not real. You make up. They say you make up story. Therefore it's called makeup. So when a girl put on the makeup, or even for that matter for a boy put on the makeup, that is not his real self. He's making up only of another image which he thinks can please others. Well, it's okay if you please others, but sometimes they put an image to hide away from certain things, but worst thing, they hide away from their own self. Okay? But I'm not trying to say that you cannot put on makeup. Please, if you want, do so. But we're talking about truth now. We're not talking about whether you should put on makeup or not. It's up to you. Okay? Some girls need makeup. Some don't need. If they put on makeup, it's over, something like overdressed like that, It's too much. Some girls are just nice with a little bit of makeup. Some girls don't need makeup, they are nice. They put on makeup, it becomes worse. So you must know yourself. Okay? Not everybody can put on makeup. You know, I've seen some, in small places, rural areas, these people, they are not quite well versed in terms of beauty. They do not know how to paint themselves, how to add in necessary things, So when they make up, boy, it's like you go and see the Chinese opera, Over makeup. There's always an art. I believe makeup is an art itself. It is an art on how you paint. Here, in that sense, you don't paint on paper, you paint on your face or somebody else's face. So there is an art. You must know how to paint. If she has a very fat face, you shouldn't put in a lot of red color here. It looks, you should put in some red color here, so that it looks as if it's shrinking. Then it doesn't look so fat. Okay? If a person is fat, you just put more white powder, it looks fatter still, That's makeup. To adjust what is not balanced in your physical side, to make it balanced. So that you look nice in photo and actual person. It's an art. Okay? Of course, there are many people who put on makeup just to cover up for certain things. They are old, they are not willing to accept they are old. Okay? They put on all kinds of things until people look at it and say, "Ayo, this fellow doesn't, as if, he doesn't want to grow old. Huh? He's already old, he doesn't want to grow old." No, we must. No offense to the girl, Please put on makeup if you want to. I'm just saying, some people try to hide away from the fact. And this is especially true for singers, for actors and actresses. You find that they always go for this kind of thing and to facelift them. Facelifting, I don't know how they do, what kind of mechanism they use, but they go for facelifting. This one, no double line, must go and cut one more line here so that it looks nice. Nose a little bit round, make it sharper, and then all kinds of things they'll do. Alright? And there are some people who does not accept changes, does not accept the fact they're growing old. So they do all kinds of things, they use all kinds of aids, that they can use to make themselves look young. But no matter how you can deceive people, you can cheat people by your appearance, there's something you cannot cheat yourself. There's something that you cannot cheat, that's yourself. Deep in your skin, you can make your skin look nice, but deep in your skin, your organs, your cells are aging. There's no doubt about it. You can't replace yourself by new cells, by changing new cells from a spare part shop. You can't do that. It's just like you go with, I would say, you go for spring cleaning every year. House spring cleaning, 大扫除. Okay, every year, New Year, before New Year. The house is a very old house. How to make the house look new? Patch here, patch there. After that, give a new coat of paint. It looks new. That's how second-hand car is all about also. Patch here, patch there. And then give a new paint. It looks new. Okay? So, but deep down inside, you know that car is not new. Deep down inside, you know that house is not new. Anytime it may fall also, even though it looks new. So same thing with a human being. We can cheat people, deceive people, telling them we are 20 years old, actually we are 50 years old. And people can still believe you are still, if you look young, but then deep down inside your organ is 50 years old. Your heart has been pumping 50 years already. And that is a fact you cannot change. But you can change your appearance to deceive people. That's why some of the Western actresses, 50, 60 years old, still look as if 20, 30 years old, according to Malaysian standard. It's like that. Because of all these things. They refuse to accept the things they are old. Okay? Now physical change can be
Observe in our daily activities like breathing, I told you already, it changes all the time. Sitting down. Do you sit down in the same position all the time? Sit like this. Better watch, I'm still talking. Terrible. Sit like this. Still talking. Cross your leg. Still talking. The fact that you keep on changing your sitting position, like what I have said before, shows that you're not happy with your position. Right? You're not happy with your sitting position. If possible, if the chair can lie down like that, you would like to do that. Why you're not happy? Because it is changing. You cannot keep a thing at the same point all the time. You want it to change. Therefore you change. Okay? For that matter, if you learn child psychology, you find that actually children must change things faster than older people. In other words, the things that you use for kids must change faster than adults. Therefore, it's very foolish to ask a kid, sit down quietly. Cannot. That's not children's nature. If you learn child psychology, you know that kids will climb up, they'll run here, they'll go there. That's kids. If they sit down quietly, there's no more kids. Something wrong with this kid. Okay? So, their degree of change is faster. That's why you see kids grow up faster also. If you never see them for 5 years or 6 years, suddenly you say, oh, you're in a U now. Last time it was Form 2, maybe. So much change. And you see his size also grow already. Kids. So, in our sitting position we change. Walking position also we change all the time. We don't walk the same all the time. Don't believe? Watch your friend walk next time. Then it's not the same. Smiling. We cannot keep smiling all the time. We can't do that. The smile has to fade also. Smile and then fade. So that is also nature. Imagine if I were to tell you to smile all the time without fading your smile, it is suffering after that. So sometimes change is necessary to reduce suffering also. In that sense. Okay? Now is anicca always bad? Now we've been talking a lot about changing and changing and changing. Is it always bad? Some people say, yeah, everything is changing. Bad. Bad world to live in. Is it really bad? No. Sometimes we need change. It is through change that we grow up physically. Otherwise, I will still be a little boy running around naked. Right? We change. It is important to change also because it enables us to better ourselves. Imagine if you fall sick and there is no change, what happened? You never get well. The fact that you want to get well means there need to be a change. Then only you can get well. You fall sick, the doctor says, sorry, there's no change to your condition. Terrible. So when you fall sick, you would like change to take place, to get well. That change is important. So anicca is good in that sense. Okay? Imagine we separate and cannot come together again. It's terrible. When you separate, you hope that you can come together again. There's also change. Okay? Imagine we fail and can't pass again. You go for the driving test, you fail. After that, you can't pass. It's terrible, isn't it? You hope you can pass after that. Imagine we lose and cannot win again. It's terrible also. So change is important for us to better ourselves in that sense. It is important. It is the change that gives us hope. Isn't it? That's why most people hope for new things in New Year. 1988, Dragon Year, hope, fat, everything fat. Everybody tried to get married at 8888, no? On the 8th of August 1988. They tried, but actually last year there was a year of big disasters. A lot of things happened last year. The Penang ferry terminal collapsed, And many other things happen. So it's not very fun all the way. So you find that actually, why people make new resolution in New Year? Because they hope New Year will bring new changes for the better. But sometimes it doesn't. Okay? Now the importance of understanding Anicca is because number one, it gives us a right view and understanding about life. So when you understand Anicca, that everything changes, you accept life better. Well, sometimes I win, sometimes I lose. That's part of life. Sometimes people praise me, sometimes people blame me. Even I did the right thing. That's part of life. So you don't take it so bad if something not so happy happens to you. Okay? Number two, understanding Anicca is important because everything is changeable. Therefore, we can change our life by using good causes to produce good results. We become more responsible to ourselves. Means if you want to be happy, for goodness sake, do more things that will make you happy. Don't do silly things that will make you sad even though you want to become happy. Then you understand you have a control of your life. Because everything is changeable. You can have a control of your life. That's important. Importance of understanding Anicca is number three. It reduces our sorrow, our worry, our disappointment. For example, if you have just bought a new car, somebody has scratched it, don't feel so bad. Don't go to the extent of cursing that person. No matter, don't know which 有小驚 scratch my car, 掉掉我車窿匙. Don't do that. The car will grow old one day also. If it's not scratched by that boy, it may be scratched by others also, in other places, other time. So sometimes if you have not seen the person scratch, it's just too bad. Like you park at a place, maybe you're blocking people's way, people not happy with you. Just scratch your car. That could happen. Next time be more careful where you park your car. So accept change. It's hard, but then you have to learn it. For example, sometimes the things that you love most been taken away from you. I give you a very simple example. My pair of shoes has been stolen by some other people here. Many months ago. Very new pair of shoes. Okay? The temple is a very open space. Just to warn you, please try as possible, don't wear new shoes to temple. If you wear it, please put it safe. Put it in a safe place. I do not know. You may come up with some brilliant idea hanging your shoes around you when you walk. I do not know. But keep it in a safe place. Temple is not a very safe place to put your shoes because it's a very open and public place. Anybody can just come in and out. You never know when you are listening to the talk now your shoes are outside. Don't worry, I hope nothing wrong with your shoes. But your shoes will be outside, And people may just come along pretending as if they are looking for their own shoes and just wear shoes which they think is very fitting and nice and just walk away. That's what happened to my shoes. Somebody loved my shoes so much that they can't receive it. They said, oh, it's a very nice shoes, and Jesus, took it away. So, I can feel very sad after that. Oh, you terrible, I lost my wonderful pair of shoes. Terrible. I can do that. But, what can you do? You can, by crying or by, feeling sad, you can't change the situation. Unless that person who have taken away, suddenly his conscience came, shouldn't take from temple. He walked back and then put it back nicely back for me. Unless that could happen. But it would not happen. Somebody have taken away from you, that's bye-bye for you already. No way you can get it back. So don't feel so bad about it. Next time be more careful. So when I come here, now I know, come to temple, wear lousy shoes. Keep the good shoes at home. Or if you want, make sure you can keep it in a locker or some safe place in the temple. Otherwise, don't wear new shoes, especially in peak festival time. Okay? And for example also, it reduces our sorrow and worries and disappointment in terms of our money loss. Sometimes we may lose our money due to our carelessness. We should not blame anybody, but we should try to look at ourselves and say, be more careful next time. Be more mindful next time. Number 4, Anicca gives us hope to progress spiritually. That's a wonderful thing about Anicca, change. Because of change, we believe we have great potential to grow. That is why the Buddha says, all of you have Buddha nature within you. 你有佛性，人人皆可成佛。What does it mean? You may be a bad guy, but one day you can become a 佛. We have great potential to grow. That growth can only come because of change. Change for the better spiritually. So in Buddhism, we do not condemn you as sinners and things like that. There's no such things in Buddhism. We believe there is a good part of you that can grow in you. Okay? And you must accept the fact to change, to grow spiritually. That is the important part of Anicca. To accept that we can change for the better, if not for the worse. Huh? Okay? So I hope I have spoken enough here, and I'll thank you for your patience. Some of you have taken a great change to sit here, It's not your nature to sit for 1 hour or so, but it is a great change. It is a progress you have made spiritually. So I thank you for your patience, and I hand it back to the MC, and perhaps you have any question you can ask her, she'll forward it to me. Don't worry,
Okay, next change.
Next change.
Any questions from the floor? Do you enjoy the talk? I can see that.
If you have any questions, you can ask, otherwise I'll wrap up the session. Or you want me to ask you a question? Yes? Where comes the river? Okay. I give you a very simple statement for you to comprehend. Try to comprehend it. The beginning is the beginning of an end. Can you get it? The beginning is the beginning of an end. So rebirth is the beginning of an end. Death. Does that answer your question? Huh? Don't squeeze your head if you cannot get it. Beginning is the beginning of an end. Don't squeeze your head. Just remember. I give you a simple example again. The end of 6 o'clock show, Rex Theatre or Cathay Theatre, is the beginning of 9 o'clock show. The beginning of 9 o'clock show is actually the end of 6 o'clock show. It's a continuity. Alright? Does that answer your question? Alright, you got a new question. Beginning does not equal to end. Beginning is only the process leading to the end. Well, technically speaking, yes. We shouldn't say there's a beginning, there's an end. That's for comprehension only. We have to use beginning and end, Just like when you study geography, physical geography, you're studying about the river, profile of the river, you can only say this is the beginning of this part of the river and it's the end of the river. But that is in terms of manner of speaking only. But actually there's no beginning of a river and no end, and we do not know where it is. You can say it traces the beginning of a river from the water that comes from the rain and from certain area. No. But we have, in order to study something, we have to cut to a certain proportion and take this as the beginning and this as the end, for your understanding. Rebirth also like that, you see, it's always in a state of this, rising, falling, birth, death. But we want to talk about one life, we have to cut it out. This is the beginning of our life, and this is the end of our life. But the end is not the end. It's only a relative end only. Okay? It's a little bit philosophical, but I hope those newcomers will not get confused. Right? Any other question? No more? Okay. Impermanence itself of Buddhahood. When we say everything, thank you. Those of you who want to leave, don't worry. Quietly sneak out. We will not punish you for that. Quietly, but don't say, hello, I'm going back. Quietly, you can sneak out. I know some of you got other commitments. Please leave if you want to leave. But if you feel you can stay on for 1 or 2 minutes more, you can. Now his question is, if everything is changing, then what about Buddhahood? Is it? When you say about Buddhahood, it means nirvana. Okay? It comes back to the same thing. Now, when we talk of anicca, I already defined it very clearly in the beginning. According to commentary, anicca is condition. It is a conditioned things of coming together. Therefore, if a thing comes together because a condition, it will disintegrate when the conditions are not there. But according to the Buddhist scriptures, according to our Tipitaka, nirvana is a state which is unconditioned. It is unconditioned state. In other words, it is not conditioned by all these factors, the worldly practice. It is an unconditioned state. Therefore, it is not, in that sense, classified under this anicca. It only conditioned things, which worldly things and those things that is conditioned, therefore it is anicca. But as for the state of achievement, it is not conditioned in this sense. Okay? It's just like this, it is not lost, something like a swimming skill. Some of you know how to swim, right? You may not be able to swim for 20 years, you may not be able to have the opportunity to swim for 20 years. But that doesn't mean you have lost the skill of swimming, You still can swim, but not be that well, may not be that well, but you still remember how to swim. It doesn't mean 20 years later you don't know, you throw you in the water, you cannot swim. No. It still remains. It is unconditioned in that sense. Okay? Any more? No more? I'm very happy that all of you understood. Okay? So what I hope for you all is make today a starting point of your life, a changing point of your life. You have learned about anicca, and anicca is useful also in certain ways. Make full use of this change yourself for the better, for yourself, for the Buddhist community, for everybody around you. And I hope if you have not been happy all this while, try to be happy, change to have a happy side of your life. If you have not been very generous all this while, change to become more generous. You have not been very patient all this while, try to be more patient. That's part of change also. And we hope by coming to know the Dhamma, you have learned yourself, you have changed yourself to become a better person. And that's what the Buddhist message is all about. Okay? Thank you.